The Runaway Bride is a special episode of the long-running British science fiction television programme Doctor Who, starring David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. It was produced for Christmas 2006, broadcast on December 25, and played much the same role that the Christmas Invasion played the previous year, introducing the third series while not actually being part of it. It features Catherine Tate as Donna, who appeared in the TARDIS at the end of the previous episode, Doomsday. Plot synopsis: the episode opens immediately following the events of Doomsday. The Doctor, still upset at the loss of Rose Tyler, is shocked to find a woman in a wedding dress standing in the TARDIS console room. The woman angrily accuses him of abducting her from her wedding and demands to be returned. She angrily rips open the TARDIS doors, to see that she's actually in outer space. She tells the Doctor her name is Donna, and he does several tests to find out how she got into the TARDIS in flight. The Doctor returns her to Earth, where she storms off to find a cab to return to her wedding. The Doctor is accosted by robotic Santas, and uses the TARDIS to fly alongside the taxi Donna is in to rescue her from the Santa that's driving it. The flight overloads the TARDIS, and the Doctor is forced to set it down on a nearby rooftop. The Doctor gives Donna a ring that will mask her from the Santas, and escorts her back to her wedding. The Doctor meets Donna's groom, Lance Bennett, whom she had met and fallen in love with while working with him. He reviews the video footage of Donna's disappearance from the wedding and recognizes that she managed to absorb a great deal of Hwyn particles, which would have drawn her to the Hwyn particles contained in the TARDIS. The Doctor realizes that the ring he gave Donna cannot mask the Hwyn particle signature, and soon the reception hall is attacked by more Santas. The Doctor is able to use the music sound system to disrupt the attack and trace the control signal to a ship in orbit around Earth, but he quickly loses track of it. The Doctor learns that Donna's workplace is owned by the Torchwood Institute, which the Doctor believed to be defunct. The Doctor asks Lance to take him to the company headquarters and they are accompanied by Donna. The Doctor discovers a secret basement leading to a long tunnel under the Thames barrier. There they find machinery creating Hwyn particles, and a pit that seems to lead straight to the core of the Earth. They are surprised by the sudden appearance of the Empress of the Rachnos, a spider-like species wiped out eons ago by the Time Lords. She shows them that she has taken control of the company and used the Torchwood technology to create the pit. Lance reveals that he has been working with the Empress, and was responsible for dosing Donna's coffee with Hwyn particles to convert Donna into a key that would free the Empress children. The Doctor and a heartbroken Donna escape, and the Empress decides to use Lance as the key and orders him force-fed large quantities of the Hwyn particles. The Doctor retrieves the TARDIS and takes Donna back to the formation of planet Earth. They observe that a Rachnos ship formed the core of the developing planet, and the Doctor deduces that the Empress is attempting to revive her species by using the Hwyn particles to awaken the ancient Rachnos. Back in the present, the Doctor and Donna return to the pit to face the Empress. Donna is captured and put in webbing, and the Doctor is held at gunpoint by the Santas. As the Rachnos are awakened and begin ascending from the pit, the Empress brings her ship closer to Earth and begins firing upon the populace. The Doctor offers to take the Empress and her kind to a planet where they will not harm anyone, but she refuses. The Doctor then reveals himself to her as a Time Lord, and tells her he cannot let the Rachnos survive. Using explosives, the Doctor destroys one of the walls of the room, flooding it and the pit with water from the River Thames and killing the Empress's offspring. The Empress teleports back to her ship, but it is destroyed by human forces said to be acting upon Mr. Saxon's orders. The Doctor returns Donna home where she declines an offer to travel with him. Donna tells the Doctor not to travel alone, and suggests he needs someone with him to stop him, just in case. The episode ends with the TARDIS taking off up into the atmosphere. Continuity: the robotic Santa Clauses and Christmas trees from the Christmas Invasion return in this story. The Doctor refers to the spaceship hovering over London as seen in the Christmas Invasion, and to the Battle of Canary Wharf between the Daleks and Cybermen, as seen in Doomsday. However, Donna had not seen any of these events due to a hangover and a scuba diving trip in Spain, respectively. The Doctor makes use of the tribophysical waveform macrokinetic extrapolator, last seen generating a force field in the parting of the ways, to shunt the TARDIS to a different location once it lands. It appears to have been integrated into the TARDIS systems, as a portion of it is covered with TARDIS coral. The tank commander who opens fire on the Empress's ship is heard to say that he has orders from Mr. Saxon. The name first appeared in the 2006 series episode Love and Monsters as part of a headline on a copy of the Daily Telegraph being read by the Absorbaloff. It also features in the spin-off series Torchwood, as a poster on the door of the Ritz Ballroom in the episode Captain Jack Harkness, and features as the main plot arc keyword of the subsequent series of Doctor Who. Henrik's, the department store Rose Tyler worked in, and an employee holding an advertising banner for it, are featured in the background of the scene where the Doctor uses the cash point. When the Doctor asks about Lance, he says, "He's not a bit overweight with a zip round his head, is he?" This is a reference to the Slitheen. Production: Russell T. Davies had the idea for this episode from the very beginning of his association with the program, and he planned to air it in Series 2. With the public announcement of 2 Christmas specials and the private knowledge of Billie Piper leaving at the end of Series 2, Davies decided to elevate the story to the Christmas special, not introducing the new companion immediately, and filling the slot with Tooth and Claw. The end of Doomsday is featured as part of the pre-title sequence, although the scene was actually refilmed. In his online podcast commentary for the episode, David Tennant explained that this was due to a change in lighting supervisors, and the one hired for this episode liked to light the TARDIS interior differently. The scene therefore had to be refilmed in order to match. The Doctor Who logo in the opening credits has been slightly redesigned from the previous one, with more background detail and flair on the lozenge that the words Doctor Who sit on. For legal reasons, the production team made obviously fake banknotes for the scene where money comes flying out of a cash point. The £10 notes feature the Doctor's face and the phrases "I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of 10 satsumas," and "no second chances I'm that sort of a man." The text is a reference to the Doctor's actions and dialogue near the end of the Christmas Invasion. There were also £20 notes featuring producer Phil Collinson. These had the phrase "there's no point being grown up if you can't be a little childish" sometimes printed on them, misquoting the line originally spoken by the Fourth Doctor, in Robot, "There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes." All notes on the cash machine were labeled London Credit Bank. The notes have become collector's items, regularly selling for £50 or more. Due to her extremely busy schedule, Catherine Tate was unable to be present for the script read-through. As a favor, her part was read by Sophia Mills, who played Madame de Pompadour in the 2006 series episode The Girl in the Fireplace. This is the first Doctor Who episode to be shot at the new dedicated Upper Boat Studios in Pontypridd. The TARDIS set had previously been housed in former warehouse space in Newport. Although the episode was set during Christmas, filming took place in July, where temperatures reached 30 Celsius in Cardiff during filming. Night filming of scenes involving gunfire, explosions and a tank disturbed some Cardiff residents, including one American woman returning home from the conflict in Lebanon. These scenes, as well as those on Oxford Street, were filmed on St Mary Street outside Howell's department store in Cardiff city centre. Cardiff Castle is visible behind the tank in some shots. In a podcast commentary for the episode, David Tennant and executive producer Julie Gardner discussed a sequence that was cut from the broadcast. As broadcast, after Donna finds a piece of Rose's clothing and challenges the Doctor about it, he angrily snatches it from her and sets a course for the TARDIS. As originally filmed, the Doctor first opens the TARDIS doors and throws the garment into space. Gardner said it was cut as it was too melodramatic a moment. The TARDIS chase scene down the A4232 Grangetown Link Road was shown at a Children in Need concert, which featured a live orchestra performing many of the music themes from Doctor Who, including the Dalek music and Rose's theme. The clip was leaked online shortly after the event and the concert and clip were shown earlier before the episode officially aired on Christmas Day on a Doctor Who Confidential special at 1 p.m. Cast notes: Sarah Parish has co-starred with David Tennant in 2 other BBC One dramas, Blackpool and Recovery. Catherine Tate co-starred with Tennant in a sketch for comic relief which made several Doctor Who references. Catherine Tate returned in Series 4, reprising her role as Donna Noble as a full-time companion. Jacqueline King and Howard Atfield are introduced in this episode, and were both due to return in Partners in Crime, the first episode of the 2008 season. Jacqueline King did return, but Howard Atfield died shortly after completing the shoot, and his scenes were reshot with Bernard Cribbins as Donna's grandfather. King had previously appeared in the Doctor Who Unbound audio drama Deadline. Music: Merry Xmas Everybody by Slade appears again, as in the previous year's The Christmas Invasion. Also, as with The Christmas Invasion, composer Murray Gold wrote an original song for this special, called Love Don't Roam. The song was performed by Neil Hannon, frontman of the Divine Comedy. The song was previewed at the Doctor Who, a celebration concert on November 19, 2006 at the Wales Millennium Centre in Cardiff, where it was sung by Gary Williams. The studio version featuring Hannon is on the soundtrack album released on December 11, 2006. Broadcast and reception: this was the first Doctor Who story to be broadcast with Envision British Sign Language interpretation, in a UK repeat on December 30, 2006. The final official ratings for The Runaway Bride gave it an audience of 9.35 million viewers, making it the 10th most watched programme on British television during Christmas week. The Runaway Bride was released as an individual episode, along with the Doctor Who Confidential special episode Music and Monsters, on April 2, 2007 as a basic DVD with no additional special features. Steve O'Brien of SFX gave The Runaway Bride 4 out of 5 stars, noting that it was different from anything Doctor Who had done, but the sillier tone worked for Christmas Day. He also praised Tennant and Tate. IGN's Travis Fickett gave the episode a score of 7.2 out of 10, feeling that Donna had improved from her short appearance at the end of Doomsday. Fickett was also positive to the way Rose was not ignored. Dec Hogan of Digital Spy wrote that the episode lacked the energy and excitement of last year's effort, particularly criticizing the Empress. In 2012, SFX listed The Runaway Bride as a bad example of a sci-fi Christmas episode, noting that it was a decent episode in many respects, but had the disadvantage of being filmed in the summer. References. External links: The Runaway Bride on TARDIS Data Core, an external wiki, The Runaway Bride at the BBC Doctor Who homepage, The Runaway Bride at the Doctor Who Reference Guide, The Runaway Bride at Doctor Who, A Brief History of Time, The Runaway Bride at the Internet Movie Database, Reviews, The Runaway Bride Reviews at the Doctor Who Ratings Guide, The Runaway Bride at Outpost Gallifrey.